I know for a fact that there's something you want to do, and for whatever reason, you're not doing it. Maybe you're too worried about things being perfect all the time. That's literally how I am. Or maybe you're scared of how other people think, or you're scared how someone specifically might perceive you. And all those are completely justifiable or understandable, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't feel those things. What I am saying is to respect yourself enough and to allow yourself to be okay with starting something new or with trying something out, and understand that things may not go as good as you want them to be, even if it's tough for the first 2-3 seconds or 2-3 weeks or months or whatever. As long as you dedicate yourself and stick to it, and as long as you see it through, then you're giving yourself the respect and the time and energy that you deserve, because no one else is going to give you those same things other than yourself. And just a quick thing, because this is a video series I've been wanting to do for quite some time, kind of like a Dokkan weekly recap, talking about things that have gone on with the game or even the community, just to catch everyone up in the last week, because I know not everyone is always up to date with what's going on. So the way I can see this being, and I would love for your input in the future, I wanted this type of videos to be edited and everything like that. That's how I had it in my mind, and maybe we can move towards that in the future, but my brain, like, I don't want things to be perfect. Let me just start and see where it can go, you know? So the way I see this happening is we can do 3 different segments, right? We have the global Dokkan segment, since I am a globalist, right? Global Dokkanist, I should say. Global Dokkan, that sounds weird. And then the JP Dokkan segment, and then the community segment. I'll also say that global and JP will be fusing soon, so it'll only just be, 2 segments, like Dokkan and then the community. However, if you think there could be a better segment or another segment we can add, let me know. And I'm always down to improve these types of videos. But let me go ahead and just update you on everything that's happened throughout the last week. I guess the most important things for Dokkan. So most recently, we've had the release of both of the new LRs. I mean, we had the reveals and the release of both of the new Part 2 LRs. Trunks, a lot of people were disappointed with him because he's one of those characters that needs to attack to get his own damage reduction, and outside of this 30% that he gets, there's no other form of guarding or damage reduction in his kit, which just reminded a lot of people of Evolution Blue Vegeta. And again, he's not a bad character. He can put up high attack stats and multiple attacks, so he can do great damage. It's just he's not as good. That's people's issue, right? He's not as good as the alternative option here, which is Gohan. Gohan is just everything that Trunks doesn't have, he just gets it for free, which is like, why? Like, what was going on during the production of this character, if that makes sense, right? But anyways, these units are incredible. Future Gohan, I like as probably number 2 right now, personally. If you want to say he's number 1, sure, I don't really care. It's like, he's number 1 for me, number 2 for me. He's top 2. Top 2, not 2, top 2, whatever you want to believe, whatever you want to think, it's okay, because I agree with you, okay? Regardless, he's just, again, a really good character. If you're wondering if you should summon for him, I definitely think he is worth it. Keep in mind that, for Global Dokkan, at least, what did I say? Dokkan? What did I say? For Global Dokkan, at least, in the future, we are getting characters like Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Physical Turles, Tech Trunks. So if you care about those characters, probably save your stones. But for right now, I do think Future Gohan is definitely worth the summon. Also, keep in mind that on the Trunks banner, LR Bulma is available. So keep that in mind. We also had the free-to-play EZAs. I'm not gonna lie, they're not bad, right? But they're definitely not anything crazy. I'll always stick with the fact that these characters, like this kit, this EZA kit, should be how the character comes, non-EZA'd, and then they should EZA in like a month or 2 or next year or something to just keep them up with the meta, because I just still don't agree with a character coming into existence 10 days ago and already having a freaking EZA, That's just my thing, though. It is what it is. Let me know what you think about that. We also had the massive fumbling of this EZA. The community was going a little crazy about this guy. he finally got his EZA, and you know, people just aren't really happy with it, myself included. Could have been better. It's not like, again, it's not bad. It's just mid, and we were expecting great, not even good. We were expecting great. So the fact that we got a decent character, it just feels terrible because our expectations were so high. But that's what you get for expecting too much, you know. That's what you get for expecting Dokkan to care. I can't speak. Let's continue. We also have the reveal for the LR Int Rose EZA. Hopefully, we don't have details as of this recording, so we'll have to see how they decide to handle this EZA. But I will let you know, of course, through video format if this is an EZA that's either good or not. You'll definitely hear something about this guy's EZA when it's released or when its information is released. I don't think, again, I didn't see any information on him, so I don't think there is any to talk about. And of course, if you want to see more recaps like this, especially if you're not too involved with the community every single day, let me know, and I can definitely do a better job. If you want to, you know, hop on Twitter and ping me in certain things or at me on certain things to make sure I cover in the video, again, anything like that would be great. And if you enjoy these types of videos, you know what you gotta do. Let's continue. So, in terms of like the community segment now, I want to start off with this tweet from Minato, or Minato, however you want to say his name. But the point is that he did mention this, the total stone count for part 3, which is going to be 135 dragon stones. He did post this on Twitter. So I wanted to bring this to your attention because, again, there's a lot of free-to-play Dragon Stones the celebration is given out, and Part 3 is coming out with a lot of stuff. So if you're someone who, again, really wants to summon for Trunks, or, I mean, Gohan or Trunks, or even the Part 1 characters, there's still more free stones for you to grind to kind of make up whatever you may end up spending. Feel free to follow Minato if you haven't already. More on the community stuff. I did find this entire comment section kind of interesting. Truth said the hardest run so far was the full extreme class warriors versus Trunks. Villains are actually so bad it's offensive, and I wanted to hear your opinion on this in the comments. How do you feel about like the state of villains in Dokkan? Like, I don't think they really fumbled Merge Zamasu, right? Like, am I bad? I'm not bad, but am I wrong for saying that Merge Zamasu isn't like, did I click the wrong character? No, we're good. He's not bad, right? It's just his team is not really coming through here. The physical Zamasu that released alongside him, I'm not going to call him the best character of all time. I don't think he's absolute trash, which I've heard people say. But, you know, he could have been a lot better. I'll give credit for that. Was this the one? Oh, this was an entire thread on its own. You guys can read that if you want. But yeah, it's like I feel like there's good villains in the game. It's just for some reason they just continue to fumble those villains that can really tie the glue together for a lot of these teams. And I don't know why they keep doing that. But what do you think, right? I want this to also be kind of like a discussion as well. Do you feel like they continue to fumble these extreme class characters? Are you fine with how they release these extreme class characters, or what? Because honestly, I mean, they have some extreme class bangers in the game, but I feel like Dokkan can do something like Legends, where they had like a full, I forgot what Legends called it. It was like, it's like Lineage of Evil. Was it Lineage of Evil campaign or something, where they had I think it was last year, they had like a full 2, 3, 4 month span of just spamming villain characters. So I think it was Powerful Opponent campaign. Yeah, because I think the Mecha Frieza they released wasn't even on Powerful Opponent, but they had like Mecha Frieza in there. They had LF Cooler in there. They had Ultra Z Broly in there. I don't forget who else they released in that campaign, but just a lot of extreme class characters. I think Dokkan could really benefit from that. A 3-4 month just span of extreme class characters and extreme class buffs to put all these pieces and characters together, you know? And that starts with not fumbling. Anyways, moving on. Gresh put out a tweet that I also wanted to talk about. I'm not going to read everything from here, but he was just talking about how he feels about the current Dokkan situation, and he posted this, this is, I'd say within the last week, but this is still kind of recent because I didn't cover this last week, right, since this thing didn't exist last week. But The point is, when I say this thing, I'm saying this video series. Anyways, something I wanted to read was that overall, while there are certainly good aspects for what's to come in part 2 in terms of summonable characters, I don't think expectations were fully met with this reveal, which is definitely true. I mean, again, expectations are what's going to kill our excitement for this game. Expectations are literally, if there wasn't a single soul who expected, like if everyone thought this guy was going to be extremely bad, if that's how they tailor their expectations, then people would be happy with how his EZA turned out, because his EZA is not bad, it's just okay, right? But we were expecting him to cook. They did not do that. They did not do that. Which means that's twice in a row now where they've fallen short with a dual Carnival drop. After this, I don't think anyone could excuse the Carnival format anymore. Honestly, you know, one thing I like about Carnival Banners, it feels like you're summoning for a Dokkan Fest with a bunch of LRs on it. I don't know if that feeling is like mutual, but there's something about summoning on Carnival Banners, especially during these big celebrations where you have a bunch of other LRs featured. It's like it gives me the feeling of I'm summoning for like a Dokkan Fest character with yellow coin LRs on it, and I like the feeling of just pulling a bunch of LRs, but with a really strong Carnival unit attached to it with a flat out 200% lead. Like there's something about summoning on Carnival Banners that makes it exciting for me personally, right? And I think Truth said, Carnival was good for only one reason, to split up Dokkan Fest. I can agree with this. I liked last year's kind of, you know, mix up with Dokkan Fest and Carnival Part 1, Dokkan Fest Carnival Part 2. I think that is a great that was an extremely exciting way to tackle it, in my opinion. The moment that, you know, you do dual Dokkan Fest Part 1, dual Carnival Part 2, I mean, what's the point? Why not just have them be yellow coin characters? Just better. Like, because why can't he be just a random yellow coin LR that has a 200% lead, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird how they just, like, they're reverting back to how they were before, but instead of yellow coin LRs, they're Carnival teal coin. Like, I don't know what their plan was with it. Last year, I really liked the way they did it. And Goyaya, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but no extreme class on part 2 is a huge loss. I absolutely agree. Last year during Worldwide, right, we had something like S-tier Cooler, Carnival Goku, part 2, Goku and Vegeta, as well as LR Metal Cooler, right? That, I think, giving equal representation for super and extreme class, at least throughout, like, in terms of character quantity, I think that's the best way to go about it, right? Because in this celebration, we had 3 super class, 1 extreme class, and every other support or EZA extreme class character didn't really turn out that great, besides, like, of course, like, maybe Eijo Zamasu, I think is definitely a really good EZA, but they definitely gave more to super class characters in the celebration, and you could just see it with, you know, the units that EZA'd and stuff like that, right? Like, we have extreme, fair, super, 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 super and super, super and extreme, super and super. Did I count any character twice? Probably. I mean, super and extreme, super and super. Like, again, extreme, super, like super, super, extreme, like, there's definitely more emphasis on super class in the celebration, and I feel like the Future Saga was a great celebration to really give respect to extreme class characters, and they just didn't really do that, at least to the par in which I kind of expected, and maybe the same with you. One more comment I wanted to read here before we move on is, I don't care how good the Gohan is, I really love Goku Black. He is my favorite villain. And the last 3 Goku Blacks, Int, TUR, LR, Int, Rose. Wait, Int, TUR, LR, Int, Rose. Oh, so Int, TUR, Rose, LR, Int, Rose, and the base Goku Black all sucked on release. We technically haven't had a good Goku Black on release since STR Rose. It's depressing. And it's just like, how could you Goku Black out of all characters? How could we not have a part 2 Goku Black? And how could they have messed him up? Like, Agio Goku Black, I was actually really excited to pull him when he released on Global, because Agio Goku Black is one of those characters where he's the glue for a team like this. Let me put up Worldwide Chaos, right? AGL Goku Black. This character here, which by the way, dude, his SSR art is just miles better than this team art. I don't know why. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Anyways, so when it comes to this character here, it's like, dude, future 3 key and 40% is insane. Especially now with all the quality future characters we have. The only issue is that he's unrunnable. Like, if this character was even an ounce of what Tech Yajirobe is, we're cooking, right? Guaranteed guard in slot 3. 30%, 10% damage reduction up to 30% for every worldwide chaos or future saga category ally on the team, right? Stacking attack and defense. Extra defense, you know, when you have a Zamasu on the turn. Just some, like, if he was a character who you couldn't kill in slot 3, he would, like, this would be one of the more exciting banner units, I think, to date. So I don't know. I absolutely agree. And then to end the community segment here, Abu over on Twitter is selling their account. I don't know if they're still selling or choosing to sell the account. The price was $750, but he did mention that $750 is definitely a lot, right? Like, I personally don't know anyone who would spend that, but they did mention that they are willing to negotiate the price. And I'll tell you this right now: if he gets, or if they get, you know, 100 offers, and they're all at $50, and someone comes in at $70, $80, then, again, I haven't talked with them personally, so I can't confirm or deny. But, you know, over time, as long as, like, the highest bidder will win, right? So if you're interested in a Dokkan account, one that has a lot of LR's Rainbow and a lot of premium characters, then feel free to hit them up, follow them, and DM and see if, and this is actually the video of the, let me mute this, but this is the box right here. So just a lot of characters overall, a lot of rainbows, and I think if there's anyone who's trying to get into the game, or anyone who's willing to spend a little bit of money to at least have a decent account moving forward, let's say you're new from the anniversary or you're new from the worldwide celebration, and you're just, you know, you don't want to build from the ground up, and you want to have an account comparable to other people like your friend or something, or any of these other creators, then I think this could be a good avenue for you. Again, $750 is definitely a bag for most people, but, you know, if you have it, feel free. If you don't have it, feel free to negotiate. You just never know, right? So I wanted to bring this up because, you know, just to get the word out in the community that someone is selling their account. So keep that in mind. These are kind of things I want to cover, just not controversial points, but just more so things that I'd love to hear your opinion on, because again, I want to treat this as like a discussion, you know. I'm kind of updating you on some of the things that went on, but this video format could definitely get a lot better. We can definitely have more formats and more segments. I can introduce face cam into this. We can have like a meme segment, or just, again, I don't really know, right? I don't really know where this is going to go, and it bothers me to record this video and not have everything figured out. But like I mentioned before, I think the most amount of growth is going to come when you decide to say F it and just do what you got to do, and you'll learn and improve on the way, instead of trying to improve before you even start. Like, how does that make any sense, you know? So hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.